Hallo Leute! Welcome back to the stream. It's been a while. Also, this light makes me look horrifying, so let me do something about that. That's a little better. Anyway, welcome back to the stream. Guten Abend, hi Alex. Hi Dima, welcome back. So before we get into things today, it's been a while, about 3 months I think, and I thought it was about time, and I had time. Why am I looking here? So we're playing more games today. I had a very exciting day. I had my wisdom teeth removed today. One of them struggled very hard, but as you can see, I am not bruised, so let's hope it stays that way. And we'll see how long I can talk tonight before my jaw gives up on me. But yeah, tonight we're playing Night Call, which to those of you who enjoyed watching Neocab will be good news, because this is another game of taxi driving. Somebody recommended it to me. Hey, Mayish! And immediately coming in with a subscribe. Thank you so much once again, and hi! So glad you're back. Somebody on stream recommended it to me. I can't remember if it was you, Zombie Flesh Cult, or somebody else, but of course it was inspired by me playing Neocab recently. This is a bit of a different twist as far as I'm aware. We're going to be playing a taxi driver in Paris, and as you can see, it's not cyberpunk this time, it's noir themed. And going along with that theme, we have a crime mystery to solve. Apparently there's a serial killer going around, I think. I don't know much more about it than that. But I read in the intro screen that you didn't get to see that apparently it's based off of real stories, and therefore it might scare some players. You finished it last week. I enjoyed it. Well, perfect. It might have been you who recommended it then. I don't know. Somebody from this troop of stream regulars pointed out Night Call to me because I played Neocab. Might have been Shalag. I don't know. We'll see. So, for now, let's play immediately in there. Nice. Oh, so it was you, Alex. Okay. Choose the investigation. The judge. The angel of death. The Sandman. Surprise investigation. Random investigation. Victims have all something in common and the motives seem clear, but which suspect would have done it? Balanced case, perfect for a first run. Oh, so there's different storylines here. Random victims, unknown motive. Weird case, slightly more difficult than the others. Oh yeah, so since I'm a taxi driver, I collect clues by just driving passengers around, right? The Sandman. The victims may feel random at first, but there's a connection, yet the motives might be hard to find. Dark and twisted case. The game will randomly pick an unsolved investigation. The game will randomly pick an investigation no matter if solved or unsolved. Let's try the judge first, because it says it's perfect for a first run. Oh wow, Sasha removed all her wisdom teeth this spring. Not sure she would be able to stream the same night. Yeah, for me it was only these two, because I had these two done about 2 years ago, and luckily all of mine were out, so it wasn't a huge, they didn't have to like saw into the bone or stitch anything actually, so I was really lucky. So yeah, it hurts a bit and it's really annoying to eat, but mostly I'm fine. I'm and since there's no swelling yet, I think it'll stay that way. So yeah, lucky, and sad to hear it didn't go as well for her. You also had it on your wish list for quite some time. I did, and I did have it on my wish list because somebody recommended it to me, and it might have actually been an email, but I don't remember. Also, hi Shelag! Hey, I was just talking about you, wondering if you were the one who recommended this game. And you're right, I have a thing for taxi driver games. There is indeed a connection. People really enjoyed Neocab, so I figured why not go with this one. Choose the difficulty mode. Story. Money will be easy to get by. The investigation will be easier. Every action... Balance, the way Nightcall was designed. Hard, money will be tighter. The investigation will be harder to solve. Every action will be... We'll bring the one how it was designed. Okay. I've never heard of this game. Well, that's a rare case, everyone. Shelag has never heard of this game. So, even more exciting. Yeah, somebody brought it to my attention, and then I put it on my wish list, and then it got pointed out again. And yeah. Black Muffin. There's some bad pixeling going on in this game. This is actually not the stream. This is just in the game. Why is the quality so bad? Probably turn some lights off. Nah. More reading. Here? Sir, can you hear me? Or do I need to speak up? Yes, speak up. Is this okay with you? Is my voice loud enough? Yes, it's fine. She takes a deep breath. Sir, you just spent 2 weeks in a coma. The word bounces around my head. You need a moment to understand its meaning. Coma? Oh wait, the narrator is not the protagonist. Okay, cool, so I can use a more relaxing voice for that. The word scratches along your throat. Yes, you were the victim of an assault. The word resonates in your head. Victim. You are aware a serial killer is currently on the loose in Paris? You feel the contents of your stomach crawling up your throat. The judge, as the police call the killer, assaulted you. The bullet touched your liver and, in most circumstances, it would have been fatal. We chose to put you in an induced... Her voice becomes more distant, fades. You taste bile at the back of your mouth. Your head is burning. You hear a whistle in one ear. Your fingers move to your wound. Underneath the bandages, you can feel hard skin. It is incredibly painful. Did they... Oh, that was my voice. Whatever. I'm sorry? Did they catch the judge? No. What about my passenger? He was dead before you even got out of your cab. The doctor is silent for a second. A very awkward second. She hesitates. The police would like to see you as soon as possible to ask you some questions. After all, you're the only one who survived the judge. Noise in the hallway attracts your attention. You try to turn your head, to no avail. You need to rest. She leaves the room. Her voice resonates in the hallway. I don't care he's the only witness. He's... Another female voice joins in. A strong, authoritarian voice. You can't clearly make up what she's saying. Make out. A strange feeling washes over you. It's not pain, not fatigue. Some odd combination of the two. Much more dramatic than Neocab? We just started. Yeah, well, it's definitely darker than Neocab. Neocab was emotionally dramatic, slowly, and we're starting with the big impact immediately, huh? Oh yeah, and also Shelag said, I do remember another small Itch.io game. Itch.io? Indie? Where you were a taxi driver though, but I can't remember the name for the life of me. Doesn't ring a bell. Maybe you'll remember, and we'll make this a trend on my channel, just playing one taxi game after another until we run out. Before being in this hospital room, you'd never realize that anger was made up of a combination of pain and exhaustion. Ain't that the truth? Anger. A feeling you know all too well. Days go by, and a month later. Night 1. Ooh! Ooh. Well, look, I've got a bit of a problem. A real problem, that is. You have a pounding headache. It's your first night behind the wheel since the attack. Are you listening to me? You catch your boss's eye in the rear view mirror. Yeah. He stares at you for a second or two without speaking. Sometimes I wonder what goes on inside your head. You always seem so far away. I'm listening. Okay. I kind of have missed my chance to play the strong silent type that in anime always only says ... right? We'll see how we play this out. He's watching you closely, trying to make out what's going on in your head. You know I'm worried about you, don't you? I know. You're like a son to me, you know? I know. And you know he's about to tell you the story of his taxi fleet. Again. When my father died and left me the store, I could have sold it. I could have retired, gone back to the old country. But I decided to start a cab fleet with the money you left me to hire the guys from the neighborhood. And that's why I've got 45 guys like you working for me. His hands flutter in the air. Though none of them are any match for you. He smiles. His voice suddenly takes on a serious note. Do you want me to go over everything again? He points to the equipment on the dashboard. The meter, the GPS. You haven't been in the taxi for weeks. Maybe you do need a little refresher. Speaking of doctors, we had our big day on Monday. Got our first dose of vaccine. Hey! Congrats! Yeah, I have my first one as well. I'm getting the second one in 2 weeks or something. Woo! So welcome to the first Vax Club. Digging the music, yeah, right? So of course we're gonna say yeah, good idea, because this is a very smooth way to transition to a tutorial, so not gonna ignore it. Right then, well, first the map. You spot potential customers or try to guess where they'll be going. Then you decide. How am I supposed to guess where they're going? When a customer orders a taxi, if there's no one else around, you have to go pick them up. He shrugs. That's the way it goes. It's business. The other fares, you look at the map and decide whether or not you want to take them. And then you drive. He flashes a quick, mechanical smile. You know it well. When he talks about work, he talks about work. That's all. I feel like now I should have read him with an Eastern European accent. When your shift is over, we do the numbers, and his voice trails off as if searching for the right words. And that's all. It's pretty simple. There's no reason why you can't do it. Hey, Barack Obama, welcome back. Yeah, it's been a while. I mean, isn't it always? Oh, right. No overtime. We're in France here, and there are rules, regulations. Last time you played was the taxi game, I think? Yeah. And now we're in another taxi game. It's just not as colorful. You might not see it that way, but no one likes having a driver who hasn't slept in 24 hours. He looks away. Something's been bothering him since he got into the cab. Anyhow, you know the ropes. You get it. I know you're going to do a good job. What's the matter? Your boss keeps quiet for a while as if he's hesitant to speak. And then... I don't think it's a good idea. You shouldn't be driving. The murderer is still out there and we think he's going to come back. For you. He doesn't know who I am. He could have seen your face. The police are positive he didn't. He attacked from behind, I fell to the ground, then he took off. I mean, I don't even know what I look like. Silence. Your eyes lock. He holds your gaze. He wants to believe you, be on your side. He looks away. Anyway, I'll let you get back to work. Every minute spent in your taxi is a minute lost. He gives you a smile, half ironic, half serious. You can count on me. He scratches at an invisible stain on the armrest. Yeah, I know. That's the problem. He smiles. Your boss opens the door and exits the cab. You watch him cross the street and enter the fleet garage. A couple of colleagues are milling about. Taxis are coming and going. They all ignore you, consciously or unconsciously. You are branded. You sit there a moment, then turn the key in the ignition. The hum of the engine sends a tingle down your spine. It's impossible to describe how you miss that feeling. It's back to the night shift. Back to life. By the way, that's a pet peeve. Pet peeve. I don't think people even do it consciously, but like it's impossible to describe how that makes you feel. Is bad writing. Because it's just a shortcut for just imagine something that seems appropriate to you, you know? It's back to the night shift. Back to life. Despite the attack. Despite it all. Okay, it's 10 o'clock. We have 327 euros. Oh, look! There's the Eiffel Tower person. That's when you want to see her more often, you have to suggest more taxi games to her. You cracked the code. Maybe I should start streaming. I started playing Sundered after I saw Katya playing. Hey! That's so cool! I was actually thinking if I should play more Sundered tonight, but since I've played that before, I wanted to start the new streaming season off with something new. But I do intend on playing that more at some point. And yeah, Sundered is so cool. I'm so glad you started playing it and enjoy it. Yeah. And yeah, Shalag also played it recently and also enjoyed it. So we're all in the Thunder Lotus gang now. That's good. Okay, so do I get info on the passengers before I don't. Okay. Guess we're picking her now. Grace and Dogo. Ivry, please. I think I even know what Ivry is. I think it's a little town just outside Paris, right? No, I think I'm confusing that. That's still very much inside Paris, isn't it? Whatever. I'm not going to try to show off with my half-baked geography skills. She wants to go to Ivry, wherever that is. 7 kilometers. Fair. Yeah, sure. Oh, I can refuse? Now, does she disappear if I refuse? She does. Okay. Intéressant. She looks tired. Alicia Cliff. My poetry needs a car ride. Sure. Still haven't played Spiritfarer. The woman getting in your cab looks frantic. Oh yeah, she does. Still haven't played Spiritfarer though, but it looks so damn good. Yeah, I don't know if you saw, I started playing it on here. It's not really a streamable game. I mean, it is. It's just that it's a lot of repetitive stuff. And so you kind of run out of things to say if you play it with an audience. At least that's how I felt. And then also, I just kind of wanted to enjoy it because it's so lovely. I played it so much for like a week or maybe even 2. And I just played hours and hours and hours. And I really enjoyed it. But I don't think it's the most streamable game. Probably even worse for Let's Playing. Yeah. Because you have even less to go off of, for sure. Unless you really edit it down in post. And then I'm not sure. It's an experience. Like, it's an experience game. In a very, like, feeling game. And it's a Thunder Lotus game, so obviously, but it's so pretty. Like, all the aesthetics are... Okay, the woman getting in your cab looks frantic. I've lost my inspiration, every last drop of it. Come on, drive. Oops, that was a bit too frantic. You throw her very skeptical looks in the rearview mirror. I'll tell you when to stop. I am seeing a stream. Dead. A billabong. She stops talking. You hear a low, guttural sound coming from her throat. A mantra. A billabong? Billabong! I must find a billabong! Do you have an address for me? An address? How terribly conventional. She takes a minute to focus. Does time ask the sea to slow down its waves? She inhales, closes her eyes, and focuses. Her voice drops, becomes more intense. A billabong! A dead river! There's one right below us. Drive! Drive, I say! I mean, according to the graphics, we're already driving. You start driving. A few minutes go by before you realize your passenger is making a guttural sound. The sound resonates with the hum of the engine. Once in a while, she changes notes, modulating and playing with the harmonics. Suddenly she shouts, "Turn left!" Then, abruptly, as if she were following a path she alone could see, "Go down the boulevard!" You drive for a few minutes, aimlessly. In back, your passenger is still singing. The meter is running. The kind of ride that puts you out of sorts. Who knows when it will end? Your passenger squeals. Stop! Right here! Not a bit further! You brake. Yes. Yes! She whistles. A high, loud note. Kids, my mattress is calling. Until next time. Already? Alright, good night, Alex. Bye! Have you ever played Outer Wilds? Don't think I've heard of that one. That could be something you'd enjoy. Such a great experience. Is it also a game you should stay to yourself with? So she whistles. The billabong runs just beneath us. Its water flows no more. The black stream from my vagina has stopped short. Good for you. That sounds like it's a good thing. The rumble of revolution. The water flows no more. All that remains is to clear away the remains. You stop the engine. Silence fills the cab. Your passenger's low voice and the scratch of her pencil on the paper are hypnotizing. How many rivers have run dry? The water has left its bed and flows no more. You feel something vibrate beneath you, probably the metro. How I long to sculpt the clay in the mud of life in this water that flows no longer. Except the metro doesn't run this late at night. I plunge my calves in this water that flows no longer. I am calmed and refreshed by its coolness. She squeals so loudly it makes you jump. She then returns to a simpler, more natural tone. Thank you. This poem has been years in the making. I was only missing a few lines. Until tonight. I sensed the billabong I needed while walking down the street. Like a Karen. A muse. She opens her eyes. You. Hey, I'm not the ferryman. When you're driving alone at night like this, what moves you the most? All the people who don't sleep. Yes, it's amazing. The sun goes down and the night walkers come out. What an idea. She scribbles a few words in the air. I turn a few steps back. Above the water that flows no longer, the air continues to pulsate. She calms down. Your voice shares a resonance with a ophicalcite. You don't know how to respond. Yes, that's it. With ophicalcite. A second later, she has left the cab. I knew I would find my inspiration on the path to the billabong. She freezes. Your color is marble, ophicalcite. Never forget this. She says nothing more, passes you her fare through the window, and walks away with purpose. You sigh and drive away. Hey, we made more money than we thought we would. You mean avoid talking about it as much as possible? Definitely. Going in as blind as possible is the best. No, I meant, is it a streamable game? Or is it more like something to experience by yourself? It's about exploring the solar system as one of the first space travelers. Ah, okay. It took me a while to understand how to do detective stuff. Barely solved the case within the last day. Okay. Yeah, so from my understanding, I have to look for clues from just the people who I pick up, right? The door suddenly opens and a woman gets into the back seat. Having a good night? Oh no, she looks angrier than the voice I just did. Having a good night? For a second you freeze. It's one of the cops working on the judge's case. She grins at you. Her voice creaks. You remember seeing her at the hospital. Something already bothered you about her there. You know, it's actually pretty crazy. For weeks I've been saying to myself there's something off about you. Something not so nice. I dug around, mulled it over, bugged all my fellow cops about it, because I was sure you lied to us. She has a cold sneer on her face. I'm going to be frank with you. She leans over to you. I don't think you're the judge. No. I just can't picture it. Oh, cool. She squints, like she's trying to make you out from far away. Like you'd have gone to the extent of hurting yourself. Yeah. Between us, it's a bit of a stretch. She stares at you. But not enough of a stretch for my chief to stop going on and on about you. Seriously, he talks about you all the time. If I didn't know better, I'd think he had a crush on you. She smirks. No. I think he's more interested in your profile. In prison at 17, an icy chill fills your gut. And for murder, too. You open your mouth, but nothing comes out. Since you got out, you've kept a low profile, but you're lying about your name and your address. I checked, you know. It's normal, you'd say, if they get word of your time served, no loan for your permit, no lease for your car, right? Meaning no second chance at life. Her voice becomes softer, almost warm. I personally like guys who want a second chance. No, I like guys who fight for a second chance. Basically, I like guys who are willing to work for me. She leans forward, her shining cat-like eyes narrowing. My chief wants to go to the prosecutor with a first and last name with evidence. Actually, knowing him, he's not so hot on evidence. So, I'll give you info. Victims, suspects, medical reports, some photos that are a bit... She makes a gagging noise. You have to be discreet. Keep it between you and me. Interrogate. Ask questions. Dig around. I'm not asking you to make an arrest and deliver the killer wrapped up with a bow in front of the station, okay? You're not Batman. You're just here to get me more information. She rummages around in her pockets for what seems like forever. Ma'am, I just drive a taxi. Yeah, exactly. Hi, Guy, is it? Guy Gaming? Hello! Welcome. Here, take my card. I'll call you in 3-4 days, just to check in. We'll chat! And I'll let you know if I have any new info. She takes on a didactic, paternalistic tone, like she was giving you a list of recommendations for the 100th time. Don't get caught. Don't get arrested. Also, I wouldn't recommend trying to leave Paris. I know what you look like, and I know who your friends are. You can either be the solution or the problem, my friend. She takes a minute to scan your face, your emotions. If I have to, I'll go check in on you-know-who. Her smile is biting. That reminds me, she know you done time? You shake your head. She snickers. Oh, my little dirtbag, you cover all your tracks well. What if I refuse? If you refuse? Simple. I turn you in. I'll send your picture to all my friends in the media and every asshole in Paris. Your picture with your name on it. Your real name. Anyone close to you will have their places searched. They will be put under house arrest, spend nights in jail. You have any idea how tense things are with that fucker's trial underway? You sigh. You know just what she's trying to get at. Come to think of it, your last names are almost the same. You could be brothers, actually. I'm nothing like that terrorist. She smiles. Let me tell you, with that face of yours and your handle, they'll welcome you with open arms. She takes on a serious tone, businesslike. I want to catch this killer personally. I want to drag him to court, ruin his fucking life with a bang. I can't botch this case, you got me? And neither can you, right? Well, obviously. Well, great then. We see eye to eye. So, you can just say you're my informant, my CI. We ripped open your gut. You saw your own insides. You were in a coma. Yeah, you have plenty of reasons to want to get back at him, you know? Yeah, he ripped open your gut. You saw your own insides, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, you have plenty of reasons to want to get back at him. She furrows her brow. Yeah, I think you're actually going to do what I tell you to do. You investigate, ask questions, listen to all the rumors, and you come up with a list of suspects. She lays her hand on the door handle and freezes. Oh, right, and don't get fired. Without this cab, you're worth nothing to me. You glare at her. I said, not wise. For what it's worth, it was a pleasure not to be interrupted every other minute. You can't imagine how much I miss that at work. She puts her hand up and you can hear the words behind it. This conversation never happened. I'll make sure you get more intel tomorrow. I'll find a way. Until then, not a word to anyone, obviously. Not a word. The door opens, squeaks, and slams shut. I have a double L and I'm from Argentina, so the sound isn't a sh. Gish. Guish? That's interesting. I've never encountered a double L being a sh sound. Cool. You learn something new every day. No? Gish. I don't want to butcher your name. I'm just genuinely confused now. The door opens, squeaks, and slams shut. Fucking bitch. You sit alone for a while, teeth clenched, dry-eyed, ears buzzing. So do I pronounce the U? Gooish? Shit. On the back seat, the cop left a pile of papers. Shit. Key in the ignition, motor running. Yeah, I thought the U was silent, so it is gish. Or is it guichet? Because when you spell gooish as a guide for how to pronounce, I'm going to pronounce every letter of that. I think it's gish. Anyway, there was a no, I don't know what the last time I said it was. Guichet? That sounds French. There was a game for Mac like 15 years ago or so called Gish, but it was spelled Gish. You played a blob of tar, I think. Yeah, so it is Gish. Didn't I say that when you first put it in? Anyway, welcome Gish Gaming. Radio on, crackles. You turn it off and start driving. Gish is on Steam? Oh yeah, you're right, I think I saw it. Talking to passengers might unlock new documents and clues for your investigation. You will find them back at your studio after your shift. Cool. 6 clues discovered. Available in your room. You take a second to enjoy the silence of your studio apartment. Outside, the city is slowly waking up. You can still hear the hum of the taxi buzzing in your ears. You throw the files Bussett gave you on the table. On the wall, you hung up the big corkboard where you used to pin up photos of your nephews. Oh, they've been gone since you got out of... Your plan is simple. Jot down all the pieces of evidence and connect them to the suspects. The guilty party won't necessarily be the one with the most evidence against them, but the one with the most compelling evidence against them. It's like you're building a story about each suspect, trying to understand their motives, understand how he or she got into the situation. You're suddenly overcome with a desire to sleep. Translation, you're really tired. You close your eyes, press your fingers to your eyelids, and let out a yawn. You crack your knuckles and get to work. I feel like I saw some of these faces on the map already. Pierrot Batin, cop in Paris. Dad was a cop, died 2 years ago. Mom got health issues after Richthofen health scandal. Gay in a relationship, never discloses information at work. So all of these are suspects, yeah? Salim Wadian, well-known lawyer from Saint-Ouen, defender on the Douar case. None of this tells me anything. Defender of several molested kids in poor neighborhoods. Was a promising football player when he was 10. Paul-Marie Fragonard, a retired cop, joined the police in 1977, divorced from a judge, born in the French Antilles. Moved to mainland France in 1976. Hervé Graillou, homeless man with an unknown background, briefly worked for Charles Bougrin, victim number 2, in the 90s. Got health issues after Richthofen health scandal. So, like him. Yeah, like him. A couple of arrests for breaking and entering. Claudia Campo, medical examiner in Paris, escaped from Argentina, when she was young. Lost her parents to the Argentinian junta, the process. Okay. Autopsy report, victim number 3. Autopsy report, victim number 4. Killer case. Okay. What? Wait, didn't I just open the autopsy report of victim number 3? Where did that go? Did it go in the board? Oh, it did! Okay, so let's just open all the clues first then. That makes it a lot easier. Why doesn't it just go on the board immediately? Is there any downside to it just being on there immediately? Message, picture of crime scene number 3, time is up. Message on crime scene number 2, you deserve this. Why does this connect these two? This connects to all of them, so that's not really helpful. No sign of violence. Okay. Killer left a message in chalk on first 3 crime scenes. Weapon, rare gun used in the 70s. Wood connected to him. Alright. Yeah, okay, that is all of them, right? Yeah. Death. Killer knew the victim or researched them. Death was an execution. And that connects to the name Judge. Message on crime scene 1, Justice. Why does that connect to him? And why does you deserve this connect to the 2 people that are connected to the Richthofen thing? I don't get it. I don't know how this makes sense. Victim killed with 1 bullet in the neck. Doesn't connect to anything either. Alright. Next documents. No, annex documents. Okay. So, no sign of violence. So does it connect everything automatically, or can I pull this onto somebody? No. Okay, well I guess then these clues are useless for now. End the night. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Street Fighter character is pronounced Guile. Although I'm pretty sure that would normally be pronounced Guy. Like the guillotine. Well, I guess it depends on where the name comes from. You didn't like how to get the clues? Yeah, I'm a bit... Yeah, right now what I'm hoping for and expecting is that we will find out from conversations with people. Excuse me. Find out from conversations with people, hopefully some of the suspects, some clues that will make it possible to connect some of the clues to the to the suspects, because I don't know how else that would work. Yeah. We'll see. It's only night one. With a heavy hand, you wipe your tired face. You open the sofa bed and lie down. Ew, smoking inside, ew. The events of the day run through your head. But, I mean, it's a noir game, so of course everybody has to be smoking all the time. The streets, the passengers, their faces, their problems. Your brain is running at full speed. Your body aches and you are in pain. You can tell you need to get more sleep. You glance at your investigation board. It looks awfully empty. And are you sure this is the best? It's too soon to say. You shake your head and your mind wanders for a second. And suddenly, you're asleep. You open one eye. For a second there, you hoped the evidence board was just a dream too, but you can make it out in the shadows. Howdy, Sportler! Welcome back to my stream! Willkommen. You get up quickly. And a few minutes later, you're outside of your studio. Night 2. I can't move the map. What's this? What does that mean? Oh, it doesn't show me anything. Alright, well, driving to the eye. It's the eye of the driver. You park a few streets away from the Argentinian embassy. You wait there for your contact. You sigh. It seems so odd to have a contact. So excessive. The guy is one of your regular poker buddies, a night watchman at the embassy. You get out of your taxi and walk towards the big metal gate. Clean lines, early 20th century maybe. Lots of wrought iron. Hey, Argentina embassy, yeah! Argentina. The gate opens and someone moves toward you. They indicate you should follow them. The person's face is hidden by an oversized hoodie. Your heart starts beating faster. What if it was... Seeing you're not coming, the shape turns and pulls his hood back. A young man is standing in front of you. Pale skin, curly hair, athletic build. It's me, Jamie. You're David's buddy. You immediately recognize his accent. You don't feel like you're in any danger and decide to follow him. You walk into a narrow covered passageway, probably the entrance to a parking garage. The man turns around and lights up a cigarette. He looks rather juvenile in the light of a cigarette. That'll be 250 euros. Is it worth it? I got as much as I could. So yeah. You want information on Goro Disher? I got info on Goro Disher. And that cost you 250 euros. So, what'll it be? He raises his hands in front of his chest. His accent becomes stronger. No. It's 250 euros or nothing. If someone learns I fished around, they'll fire me on the spot. I'm doing a very ambiguous accent because I don't know which one I'm going for. I'm guessing Spanish, but I don't know. I want to pay, whatever, sure, make me poor on the first night. For that price, you hope the intel is good. You pay. Gotta go, nice to talk, bye. Yeah, bye, thanks for checking in. Listen up, because I'm not going to say this twice. Goro Disher is definitely a colonel... I'm so confused by this name. Goro Disher? Goro Disker? Gorodisker. No. Goro Disher is definitely a colonel from the junta. One of the few who wasn't arrested and put on trial. He's responsible for torturing dozens of political opponents. He tortured and killed them. You know, we don't like him much here. But the rich Argentinians in Paris love him. They really respect him. Hi, Vera! You know. Oh, I already read that. Is that all? I read in the newspaper that the killer wrote a message in chalk. Time's up. Ah. So we know that one of the suspects is connected to the junta, and the time's up thing that was also there, I think, in the clues. I read in the newspaper that the killer wrote a message in chalk. Time's up. It was a slogan at the end of the junta. A sort of watchword from the opponents. It was time for them to go. You get it? You nod. A second later, you're back in your taxi, with a hole in your wallet, but with new information on one of the victims. Is the detective gonna reimburse me or something? Like, that's $250, man. Gotta get that back. If you follow this lead, maybe your investigation will move forward. You start the car and get back to your shift. Okay, I don't need gas. Oh, is that her? I wanted to drive her yesterday. No newspapers available. Okay, cool. I'm gonna go... Oh, no, wait. That's one of my, That's one of the guys on my board. Gotta sleep. Have fun, Katja, in chat room. Okay, good night, Mesh. Es riffraff wieder. Hervé Graillot. Hey, pal. Hey, pal, can you help me out? Sure. The door opens. It's Hervé, a homeless man like hundreds of others in Paris. You've known each other for years, and every now and then he asks a favor of you to drive him someplace. Oh man, I know him? I guess I hope it's not him. As usual, he greets you quietly, though he always seems a little on edge. Hey, buddy, what's up, pup? He has a strange verbal tic that you've never really understood. You start the cab. Your passenger keeps looking over his shoulder, clearly worried. Is everything okay, Hervé? Yeah, sure, no worries. His voice trails off. He seems to be collecting himself. It's just, there's a cop on my tail. A cop? Has anybody come around asking about me? What do you mean? You know, like from the crime squad? Nobody's been talking to me about you. That guy has been driving me crazy. Asking all those questions, digging out my past. You know what I mean? Digging up your past? Like, my old girlfriends and stuff? Where I used to live? Why I left the shelter-skelter? At first I thought it was the killer, you know, the serial killer. That he was after me. Were you somehow involved in all that? Nah, not really. It's just, I saw that serial killer guy's face. He pauses. Just enough time for your brain to process that information. You gotta look at the judge. Your passenger gives you a funny smile. I saw my profile, Mile. Well, I saw him. You know, a few weeks ago, when he did his last victim. I was sleeping in an alley just across the street from where, he killed the last victim. My stomach hurt and I couldn't sleep, and I saw him in profile. He had this weird way of talking, sort of hunched over as if he were tired. Weird way of walking, hunched over as if he were tired. Okay. That's all? Yeah, that's all I saw. He had on black gloves, and the street were dark. I didn't see anything else. Hey, Vida! Thanks for the resub! Whee! Na 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 na. He's staring at you. Oh, I got an achievement. But why do you care, man? I'm not gonna tell him that. I don't think it's him, but I'm just curious, that's all. Yeah, well, that cop comes around again, you tell him to go fuck off. I'm not going to tell the police anything, not a damn thing. A note of anger has crept back into his voice. Goddamn cops. They're never there when we need them. Sure as hell ain't gonna help, yelp. They can go kick sick. He looks away, furious. You keep quiet and focus on the road. All of a sudden, your passenger gives the seat back in front of him a thump. Hey! Stop right here, Near! You slow down and pull over as soon as you can. Okay, I'm out of here. Sure. See you later, man. He reaches for the door. You're a good guy, you know that? Take care of yourself. The door opens, then closes, and Javier vanishes into the darkness. You open the window on your side. You're dying for a cigarette. To relieve the pressure. To calm your racing heart. You take a deep breath and drive away. Hey, no money! It's been 3 months, yeah. It's been a bit over 3 months. Okay, let's pick up another one of the suspects. Why not? Ow. Jeez. Alright, sure. You immediately recognize the passenger who just climbed into the back seat of your cab. I really like that the frame of the taxi sign with the rain and the blur caused by the rain and the lights. It's really nice. Very atmospheric. I finally found that game I couldn't remember before. It's called Glitch Hikers. Oh, the other taxi game? Nah, I've never heard of that title. But I guess I have to check it out now. This is now a taxi stream. You don't actually drive a taxi, you just pick up hitchhikers, but same difference. Yeah, kinda. Except you don't get money for it. His face has been plastered all over the news for the last few weeks. He's a lawyer. A lawyer who is representing a terrorist. He gives you an address and you start driving. You hold your gaze in the rearview mirror like he's trying to read your mind. You drive across a virtually empty Paris. Behind you, the lawyer nervously consults his notes. Everything all right? He answers without looking up. Yes. You get the message and leave him alone. You continue driving without saying a word. Your passenger mutters. Why did he say that to the cops? He's not taking this seriously. Doesn't get it. Idiot. There again. He says it again. Is he contradicting himself or just... You glance in your mirror. The lawyer looks like a smaller version of himself. Your eyes meet in the rearview mirror. You see him start to break. I can't take it anymore. He takes a deep breath. He loses control of his voice. This guy is a real asshole. He's not just a monster, he's a total idiot. Tears form at the corners of his eyes. I've never seen such a moronic defendant. You know what it's like to defend a moron? You know what it's like to get only 3 hours of sleep a night so you can defend a fucking moron? Do you have any idea? He yelled so loudly the windows shake. He pauses, barely, just the time to take a deep breath. Jesus effing Christ already! He kicks the seat in front of him. Hey. Jesus! He calms himself down. He steadies his breath. I'm the one who agreed to it. I actually fought to represent him. It's my own damn fault I'm being dragged through the mud. He raises his hand, snickers. Yeah, I admit it. At first I thought it was pretty great. Being on TV, all the interviews, journalists asking my opinion about everything. Shook so many hands, said so many words, sentences, actually said nothing. When I worked in the hood, not a single person cared about my work. And now in 5 hours I have to be on the radio, in 7 on TV. He pauses, breathes. His voice sounds further and further away. He raises a hand holding a Snickers. That's not helpful. That's not helpful either. I'm gonna risk it and just not say anything. I would have liked to ask a question. I actually have to decide quick, huh? Because we keep moving along. You should get some rest. He chuckles. Rest? No way. Actually, it's simple. I almost never sleep. When I lie in bed, I stare at the ceiling and go over the evidence in my head. He sits up. It's barbaric, disgusting, so horrific it's almost unreal. He lets out a sigh from somewhere deep in his body. And then I discover my client bought nails. The nails that were in the bombs at the corner market, and he kept the receipt. He kept the fucking receipt. Folded it in half and slipped it into his wallet. That's what I see when I close my eyes. Disemboweled bodies and a receipt for €2 worth of nails. Why? He raises his voice quite high. Why, for God's sake? You thought he could expense it when he got to heaven? He pauses. So stupid, so dangerous. He disgusts me. He revolts me. Why defend him then? Because everyone has the right to an attorney. Everyone, without exception. Otherwise, justice is no longer just. His fit of rage subsides. His fingers are shaking. When I signed on, I thought I'd be representing someone crazy. And I find out he's just a moron who's played too many video games. The guy has never even read the holy book they used to justify their so-called acts of martyrdom. He read a few passages online. Passages. Online. Do you have any idea what a complete moron he is? He chuckles. I'm sorry. I am truly sorry. I shouldn't have said all that. He takes a deep breath. I don't have anyone else to talk with about it. All the other lawyers avoid me like the plague. My mother can't understand why I'm doing this. She's so ashamed she went back to Algeria. He's shaking. I get the shame. What I don't get is when people just lump things together. I am not a terrorist. I'm not a murderer. You made the right choice. The right choice? Laughter echoes in the back of his throat. I barely had the choice. I couldn't let injustice triumph. Everyone has the right to counsel, to stand trial, to have a fair trial. Even terrorists. Even morons. His anger is back, but this time around he's got it under control. What's wrong with video games? Oh, you know, they make everyone violent. Now I wonder what happens if you just sit there silently every single drive. Yeah, that might actually be interesting. True. We could hang him right here, right now, and no one, I'm telling you, would shed a tear. He stays quiet for a moment, catches your gaze. That's why I keep doing this. He slows his breathing. For equality. Our country was founded on it. These rights have been abused far too often for me to look the other way. His anger seems to be lifting. The taxi has almost reached its destination. In the back seat, the lawyer is much calmer. His voice is soft. I needed to be reminded of this. This will serve as a lesson. He looks at you in the mirror and bores into you with his gaze. It's odd, isn't it? That I ran into you tonight, I mean. As if... No, forget it. You pull over. He pays his fare. Wait, don't take this the wrong way, but... He hands you another bill. Here, this is for you. For listening. For hearing what I had to say. Sure, man. You slide the bill into your pocket. He looks relieved, gathers his belongings strewn across the back seat. As he's getting out of the cab, you realize he left an envelope behind. For a second, one tiny second, you hesitate. It could be something important. He gets out of the taxi, walks a few steps away, and turns around to wave at you before entering a bistro. You turn around and grab the envelope your suspect left behind. You'll open it when you get home tonight. You drive off. He gave me... Thanks, man. I hope you're not the one I'm looking for. Louise! Hey, Louise! Welcome back. Thanks for checking in. Ew, what is wrong with my camera all of a sudden? I still have enough gas. So I can scroll out. Hey, how are you? How's things? I'm good. I got my wisdom teeth taken out, or, well, the ones on my right side. But besides that, pretty swell. And yourself? François de la Néré. Terne. Oh, sure. You immediately recognize the next passenger getting in your taxi. Apparently, I know all of Paris. The same ones you had removed last year? Yeah. Were yours out as well? I have to say, like, I know it can be pretty rough, but I got really lucky with them already, you know, being decently far out. But they keep giving me trouble because my jaw starts hurting and everything, so no reason to keep them in. Except if you're very wise. Okay, we recognize him. Is he a writer or a journalist? You never watch television, rarely listen to the radio, you don't read the newspaper, and yet you know François de la Nere's face. Polemicist, novelist, columnist, politician too, you think. Your passenger distractedly gives you his address. You start driving. Are you bothered by all these protest marches? This question washes over you. You forgot that during the day people were holding protests. I work nights. Ah. He doesn't know how to follow up. A moment goes by before he yelps. Ah, see? There's not much chance they'd come to protest at 3 a.m., eh? It's not really surprising, actually. They want to make change, but only when it's convenient. Not during vacations, not on weekends, not at night. They make fun of us in other countries. France, the land of the strikes, the land of protest marches. That is so true. Francois has it pinned. This country is filled with jackasses, slackers, and simpletons. I think he likes to hear himself talk. I'm not sure I should engage. Paris is just a big village. Everyone knows that. They didn't gas me or anything. I had to spend a week in agonizing pain to get someone to pull them with just a local anesthetic. Oh man. Yeah, I got a local anesthetic immediately. Like half of my face was gone for half the day. That was fun. It's really weird when suddenly your ear starts feeling not there. My lip was literally like it was somebody else's body. But it's always fun. But yeah, I've seen a few videos of Americans getting their wisdom teeth out, and they always seem to get gas, and always get really, really funny. Now, all I could have done today would put a safety pin through my lip or something, but like, see, I don't feel that, and then later feel it. So, how to reply to François? Say nothing. Take the United States, for example. They have no right to strike. It's do or die. You think that's a good thing? Spit flies from his mouth and disappears somewhere in the back seat. And they didn't become the most powerful country in the world by going on strike all the time. He snickers. His notebook appears in his hand and he begins to write. Strike, protest, unrest. While businessmen and manufacturers are working around the clock. French people should be ashamed. Take a look in the mirror and decide to change, to do something. They expect too much from life. They want to have their cake and eat it too, and bite off more than they can chew. He catches his breath. Froth begins to form at the corners of his mouth. And meanwhile, the world keeps turning. While the strikers twiddle their thumbs, workers are working. No, struggling to get the job done. That's better. Idiotic protest marches. The Frenchest thing, and the stupidest. We have to look the masses in the eye and say, you do not own the streets. You shall not wield them like weapons. He suddenly raises his eyes and looks at you. They are unfocused and his complexion deathly pale. Are you okay? Your passenger's gaze wanders somewhere beyond the windshield. I just remember that. I once marched. It just came back to me like an old childhood memory. I can see it clearly, from Versailles to Paris. I can picture the banners, the songs, and the people's faces. There were so many of us. We got up at dawn, thousands of us, and we marched toward the capital. Our pure and wholesome voices rose up. His voice shakes a bit. For a second, your passenger feeds on the silence around him. He's recharging his batteries. It was a march against the suppression of free thought, against communist propaganda. Ah, yes, the leftists. It's always the leftists. We created a barricade for freedom. Freedom of education. It was a cry from the heart of the right for high-quality religious education while France was being crushed by the weight of socialism. We were being ideologically purged, completely decimated. It was the end of parochial schools. The end of our culture as we knew it. His voice trembles. Did you win then? Your passenger slowly sinks into a strange funk. He remains that way for the rest of the ride until you reach his destination. He sighs contentedly as you pull the taxi up along the sidewalk. Those were the days. It was a great time. The left was running the country. He leans in towards you like he's about to tell you a secret with a smirk on his face. And I mean the real left, eh? He pays and gets out of the car. You can hear him talking to himself as he walks toward the front door of his building. What a lovely night. Good luck to you tomorrow. Although these protest marches is going to be a messy one. He's gone before you have the time to remind him you only work nights. You notice a newspaper on the back seat. Your last passenger must have left it behind. Or the one before. You grab it and put it away. Could come in handy. You start driving. No tip, of course. Why would somebody who makes a lot of money tip a taxi driver? You can call the passenger Monsieur Strawman. Because he's a strawman or because he makes strawman arguments? You pull a newspaper out of your glove compartment and start leafing through it. Eventually, something grabs your eye. You glance at the critique of the great Alicia Cleff's latest collection of poetry. Oh, her! The critic seems convinced but is curious to know what might have inspired her to write this masterpiece. You turn the page and stop. You've read about a third of the newspaper. You stop reading and go back a few pages. You thought you saw something. It's a quite involved article about the infamous PolitiLeaks affair. Who, why, and how all that confidential data was released to the public. The Justice Department is now looking at corrupt and violent cops who are known to be out of line. Concerned associations applaud how transparent they are being. Yet, the more you read, the more you get the impression the journalist does not agree with their methods. You only have a third left to read. Whatever. As soon as you get to the page, you stop. Your instinct tells you to look at... It's an article about the recent PolitiLeaks incident that retraces another data leak. 2 years ago, a bunch of confidential police documents were accidentally released. Documents about Ronan Besson, Charles Bougrain, we've heard that name before, and Simon Gorodischer, the judge's first 3 victims. Aha. Intriguing. You shut the paper. It'll end up in the trash tonight. If you remember, it's there. Otherwise, it'll spend the rest of its days in your glove compartment. Going to bed. I'm so sleepy to have a good night. Good night, Rita. Bye-bye. I think we'll be done after finishing this night, but I do want to finish the night and patch up the clues that we got. Still have a bunch of gas. I've been wanting to pick her up since night 1, so... If it's still the same person, I think I recognize that picture. Let's go. It's also a... Oh, your next passenger has been crying. She stares at the floor and gives you an address in the nearby suburbs. You've just started driving when her telephone rings. The ringtone is familiar. Yes? There's a pause. Her tone is sharp and curt. Yes, I'm on my way home right now. She pauses, holds her breath. Yes. Another pause. She sounds annoyed. No, I took a taxi. On the other hand, a voice gets louder. Who's paying? Well, I am. I don't want to take the bus home tonight. Come on, lay off. A new round of criticism begins. Look, can you just lay off? Yeah, we'll talk about it when I get back. She holds the phone away from her ear, ready to hang up, then pulls it back. Yes, I'm here. She finally glances at you. There's no need to scream. I can hear you. I told you we'll talk about it when I get home. We're about to enter a tunnel, miss. She smiled. No, that was the driver saying we were going to be cut off. No, he seems normal. Mom, I said it. She hangs up. Thank you. You hear a ring, the same tune as before. The young woman hesitates, turns the phone over in her hand, and decides not to answer. Sorry. I know that tune. Her face lights up. It's Lakmé by Léo Delibes. We gave a performance with his music. After hearing it so much, I just felt totally in love with it. It's such an incredibly soft piece. In the opera it comes from, the priestess Lakmé and one of her companions go to gather jasmine for the temple, and you sense the love between the characters. And it's mutual. The two women sing and their words are very similar, but not identical. You sing? No, I'm a dancer. Classical, jazz, and other various combinations. I've danced since I was a little girl, but I've been dancing even more these last few years. I love it. A friend and I did put our own choreography to a few scenes from the Lakmé opera once. We did a show. It was really exciting. The smile that appears on her face seems to have erased the tears. And thanks for earlier, by the way. I missed the last metro, and to be honest, I really didn't want to go home. My mother is waiting to have a very long discussion about my future, my career, all the sacrifices she's made for me. She's a cleaning woman in one of the fancy office buildings at La Défense, and I failed my bar exam, so she thinks. She stops herself. She was going to make a joke, but something keeps her from doing so. Her smile vanishes. She thinks I'll end up as a cleaning woman at La Défense. Your passenger sighs. She thinks I dance too much. She thinks it's Lakmé's fault. But mostly she thinks it's my fault. She heaves a huge sigh and stares at nothing outside. I studied. I worked hard. But I didn't pass. I just don't believe in all that anymore. Now, be warned, what I'm about to say will sound cliché, but I want to be a dancer, not a lawyer. My mother doesn't understand that. You must work to earn money in order to succeed. She takes a breath. Sorry, I didn't mean to unload on you. I must seem like a pretentious little princess. I mean, I don't think she does, but would he think so? No, not at all. Thanks. Thanks for lying. She smiles. The address she gave you is not much further. I mean, I know I owe my mother a lot. I have to stop being so self-centered, blah, 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 and I have to pass this fucking exam. She clicks her tongue as if to force herself to stop talking. Instead, she keeps going. Mind you, she came to my Lakme performance. She pauses, tries to find her words. She saw me dance, and when we left... I mean, it's kind of dumb, but she didn't say a single word. And I think I've never felt prouder. Her silence spoke 1,000 words. Oof, that's sad. You pull up to her house. She takes her time getting out of the car. I don't know why I said all that, but it felt really good. Thank you. She disappears. Her tears have definitely vanished. Money! Anyone that looks familiar? Not really, huh? Santa Claus. Let's pick up Santa Claus. Champs-Élysées, I think. Yeah. He's gonna be drunk, isn't he? Yeah. Your next passenger smells like beer. No, it's even worse. It's like every single fiber of his Santa suit has been soaking in a keg. Go on, dash away. His breath is 96% brandy. Your eyes are starting to sting. I'm parked somewhere near the Champs-Élysées. On shit. Name of the street is... His head is spinning and he does his best to hang on to the door. Come to me, you go ahead, drive. You start driving and silently wonder how to ask your passenger if he has enough money to cover the fare. You glance back at your passenger. He's mumbling to himself, but you can't quite make out what he's saying. Christmas is over, so why is he still dressed up? What's the suit for? He turns to look at you, wide-eyed. Suit? Well, yeah, the Santa suit. Silence. More silence. Is he so drunk he doesn't realize he's still wearing a costume? This is no costume, kid. This is what I wear to work. Just like you, no? He points at his clothes. You don't dress like that in real life, do you know? He stares at you and bursts out laughing. Yeah, I'm messing with you, kid. He lowers his voice. He's confiding in you. I've been working my ass off all year long. I like to have my favorite pubs. Get monumentally wasted. He guffaws. Here in Paris, there are a bunch of bistros perfect for such an occasion. No one talks to you and they have white wine so dry it eats away the inside of your mouth. And so many different types of brandy. Pear brandy, cognac. Nice emote. He closes his eyes in delight. And sometimes I order just one mini beer to cleanse the palate. He's almost whispering. Okay, it's usually not one of them fancy microbrews there. He jumps. Oops, but don't tell anyone, okay? Just imagine if people find out Santa Claus the berry here tastes like piss. He laughs a sparkling laugh. When he stops, it's just to throw out non-committally. You think this game plays in pre-Christmas time? Yeah, I think it was just mentioned that it's not Christmas. Anyway, you can't say anything anymore. Honestly, without the trouble I got, people should just leave me the fuck alone. All those fair weather activists, what? They still want their little snot-nosed miracles to get the latest stupid toy. Oh wait, speaking of snot-nosed kids, what is it with the menu piling of a new generation? 50 years back, you could give a kid a book and he'd go on about his whole life, all starry-eyed. But today, little whiners, what an eyesore. Fucking hell. They wouldn't have it all, but they don't like anything. They all have GSMs when they're 8. GSMs? Those things cost a whole month's wages. How can you possibly make them happy after that? Ow! He's staring at you, waiting for you to answer. He waits 5 seconds or so, then... That's what I thought. Even adults don't know anymore. Shower kids with no plastic presents. Cover the entire polar ice cap. I mean, have you seen the state of the ice cap these days? Maybe he is the real Santa. Have you? Huh? 'Cause there's not much of it left. He pauses. No. Can't say it's all bad. Don't have as many polar bears coming into my yard. They're nasty, vicious, mean. Not sad to be rid of them. He heaves a long sigh through his beard. Before things were different. Tears form at the corners of his eyes. Shit, can't talk about the past without crying like a little girl. He throws you a sideways glance. No need to stare. You don't even have time to react and he starts back into his rant. I remember you know. Tell the truth, I remember everyone. Every single person. You were an angry one. So terribly angry. Your letters, your handwriting, holy fuck, where the hell is it decipher? Don't worry though, the elves handle all that for me. You could hear a hint of disgust in his voice when he brought up the elves. Otherwise, I wouldn't have time to do nothing. Yeah, you were just furious. It's like someone punched you in the stomach. Your brother was giving you hell. Someone wrenching your gut. Man, what a... He suddenly thinks of something and stops talking. His gaze wanders outside. Yeah, anyway. Let's just talk about something else. How do you know all that? You still don't get who I am? You stare at him in the rear view mirror. Look, kid, I'm not gonna spell it out for you. And something tells me you would rather avoid the subject. There's something called jail. Another punch to the stomach. So, here's your Christmas present. We're not gonna talk about it. He smiles, opened his eyes wide. Wait, I think we're almost there. Slow down a bit, kid. He searches outside for... what are we looking for? Looking for my sleigh, kid. What else? He looks at you with pity. Should me hard to spot is slaying a couple half-dozen reindeer. A couple half-dozen? He heaves a funny sigh. I'm sure it's like in an alleyway somewhere. Oh, right there. To right. You obey and go up a street you were on a few seconds before. A few meters down, your passenger stifles a yelp. Oh shit! It was right there! Driving around the block. You turn again. In back, your passenger is mumbling. Get one of these thingamajigs. GPS's. It helped me find my sleigh more easily. You eventually pull over in an alley. No light, A few empty office buildings, and some trash cans that haven't been emptied for days. Kid, sorry about before. Didn't mean, bring up any sore points. He pays his fare. Watch your back, kid. He gets out and slams the door. He slips on the wet sidewalk, grabs onto a street lamp. With a heavy and awkward step, he clumps along the alley. You sit for a moment, watching him. At the end of the alleyway, he starts rummaging through a pile of boxes, pushes a trash can on wheels aside, and disappears. I leave for a second to cook, and now you're driving Santa Claus? Drunk Santa Claus. Shit-faced Santa Claus. What happened in this game? I don't know. Suddenly I was talking to Hobo Santa. Stay a bit longer. A few minutes go by and nothing. You turn the key and start driving again. You open the window for a second, hoping to get rid of the alcohol fumes. But something tells you they'll stick around for a while. Hey, you paid. Jesus, how many more rides? You now know more about your clients. Check the past index menu for you have met Hervé. Hervé helped you with your investigation. You have met Salim. And I'm almost back at my starting balance. You stole his documents. I mean, you left them in my car. You have met François. You have met Grace. You helped Grace to hang up the phone. Grace told you about Delibes Lakme. Grace admitted she wanted to be a dancer. Oh, all of these are relevant info, huh? Grace admitted she wants to be a dancer. No, I know that. You have met Santa. Santa talked about your brother. Okay, we know all this. So I'm gonna just press continue. Okay. Oh shit, I didn't read the first line, I'm sorry. It's thick and heavy. You can just make out your name written in thick black marker on the front. Your real name. You take a deep breath and go inside. In the envelope, you find more information, just as Busset promised. Bussy, sorry, we're in France. You lay them on the table. You look at the new evidence on the table. It'll take you a while to read everything carefully. You're suddenly overcome with a desire to sleep. Okay, that's the same line we had yesterday. But first I want to look at the stuff. Killer wearing black gloves. Oh yeah? That's info we got from a customer? Victim known to have tortured prisoners? Yeah, but... Message on crime scene 3 linked to the process. Yeah. Okay. Oh, so this is why, okay, Justice, that's connected to him because he's a lawyer. I still don't quite get why this is connected to these two. But let's see what other clues she left for us. Salim's files. Salim is investigating the first 3 victims. Oh! have to pick and choose what I want to investigate for that night, huh? Spent bullet case. Okay. Okay. Well, I guess I have to end the night then. How is that a reliable clue? He wore black gloves at the murder, so he must always be wearing black gloves? Yeah, yeah. And I don't know how that was connected to someone either. I don't know. I think this is always going to be the same lines, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, well, it's night 3, and that means it's time for us to call it a night as soon as the game lets me press escape. Oh, it's Hervé again. Because I think that's enough for tonight. We don't have to go for 6 hours every time I come out of come out of the woods streaming again. But I'm definitely finding this very interesting. I want to see how it continues. And I'm liking the design of like seeing the map when you're driving and actually having the feeling of like it doesn't line up perfectly. I kind of got excited about the idea that possibly you could talk to a passenger for as long as you kept driving, and if you got to the location earlier than the talk was over, then that's that. It kind of doesn't do that, but it gives you the illusion of it, which I liked, or I'm liking so far, and I really like the looks of it, and it's very, very mysterious and very dark. So we'll see what happens next time, and we'll see if we can find more clues. And also, now I know that I can only look at so many clues each night. So that's helpful to know too. So all of that we'll remember for next time, and I hope all of you will be around and are liking this as much as I am. Because I want to keep playing it. Oh, just in time for the end. Hi, Willem. Yeah, hope you catch it earlier next time. But, yeah, you can watch the VOD. As always, I will also upload this to YouTube, as always. Possibly not immediately, but it always ends up there. Anyway, I'll see you next time, and thank you for joining me, and have a wonderful night. Or if you're somewhere else where it's not night, have a wonderful day. No, have fun, the murderer. That would have been quite the speed gaming of Nightcall. Alright, see you next time. Cheers, everyone. Bye!